This video is going to cover the one sample test for population proportion. You're going to use this if you have one sample and you're looking at categorical data. So in the case of my students, I ask them, what is your grade in school? That is categorical. So the question I want to answer has to do with the makeup of my class. If my class were modeled the same as the population of PHS, 1/4 of my students should be seniors. I suspect that this is not the case, and my class is not 1/4 seniors. Either I have more than 25% seniors or less than that. So this goes along with the hypothesis test packet that is posted on Schoology. Before we carry out the test, I want to show you how to check the assumptions. So the first assumption that has to be checked for every test and interval is that you have a random sample. So in other words, I randomly chose students to ask, which yes is the case. You're going to have a random sample unless you have a poor study design, which is probably not the case. Next, our sample has to be large. The way to check that is n times p has to be at least 10, and n times 1 minus p has to be at least 10. So if we go to Fathom, you're looking at the summary statistics. I'm specifically looking at the grade that students are in, and I'm looking at the seniors. So my sample size is 29, so that's n. The proportion of seniors is 9 out of 29. So it has to be that 29 times 9 out of 29 is at least 10. That's not met, but it's pretty close. I also have to check that 29 times 1 minus 9 over 29 is at least 10. That one is met. If these assumptions are not met, you need to either talk to me, Ms. Budden, or talk to your mentor about a different test to carry out. Now, we're going to keep going with the test even though the assumption is not met, just to show you how to work Fathom. So, first thing I want to do is I want to do a test. So I'm going to drag test over, and it is a test for proportion. Fathom is going to ask me what variable am I looking at, so I'm going to drag over the grade. Anything in blue is something that I can change. So right now, Fathom is looking at the freshmen. I want to look at the seniors. I want to test that the proportion of seniors in my class is not equal to 0.25, not 0.5. And when I do that, I got a p-value of 0.52. Because that is bigger than 0.05, we would fail to reject the null, meaning we do not have enough evidence that the proportion of seniors in the class is not 1/4. It could be different from 1/4, but we don't have enough evidence to say definitively that it is. Now, generally what follows a hypothesis test is a confidence interval. So you're going to drag estimate, and you're going to have to change all the same things again. So we want an estimate for proportion, we still want to look at grade, and then we want to look at seniors. When we do that, we get this confidence interval down here. So 95% is normally the confidence interval that we use. You can either increase or decrease that if your mentor tells you to. If not, I would probably keep it at 95%. So looking at this interval, we believe that the proportion of seniors is anywhere between 0.15 and 0.5. So my class is somewhere between 15% and 50% seniors. Now you'll notice that 0.25 is in that interval, which confirms the result we got before. It's possible that 25% of my class is seniors.